Hi there everybody, today we're going to look at surface area of prisms. Okay, so surface area of prisms. We're going to look at triangular prism first of all, but then I'm going to look at cylinders afterwards. Alright, so you can see what it is. So in terms of a prism, alright, so what you've got is you've got your two shapes either side, and then of course you've got the bit that goes down the middle. Alright, in terms of what that looks like. So I'm going to look at this one specifically because you've got two triangles either side, and then because you've got three sides, you've got three rectangles that go down the side of it. All right, so probably a visual representation is probably a good idea at this particular point. So finding the surface area of the triangular prism. So what you've got here, you've got 12 there and you've got 10 there. So the area of the triangle is relatively straightforward. So it's half base times height. So half 10 times 12, so 120 will be 60. But then you've got the back one as well, so it's going to be two of those. All right. However, what you are missing, and I guess this is what it's actually wanting to start with, is that if you're working out the area of this rectangle here, what you do not have at this point in time is this distance here. All right, so this distance here. So this is another Pythagoras kind of question. So again, if you've not done Pythagoras at this particular point, then please look at Pythagoras, because again, it just shows you how often this kind of thing comes up. So you've got 12 down here, you've got 5 going across, making a right angle triangle. So to work out this distance, you've got 12, you've got 5. So 12 squared plus 5 squared square rooted is going to give you 169, which you then need to square root to 13. All right, so that distance there is 13, and that's going to help you with the rectangles when we get to it. Okay, so the area of the base, okay, so that's the one at the bottom. All right, it's 10 by 9, isn't it? 90. Then you've got two other rectangles. Are they doing those next? Oh yeah, both sides, where you've got 13 by 9, so two of those. And the area of both the triangles, which I've already kind of mentioned, is going to be 60, and obviously two of those. So stringing it all together, you've got a total surface area of 90, which is the base. You've got your two triangles, which are these two, and then you have your two rectangles, which are the ones that go up on the sides, and that gives you 444 centimeters squared. All right, so as you can see, just by looking at it, obviously you've got quite a bit of work to do, and again, depending on the information that you've got, will determine how complex it needs to be. But again, like many stuff that we've kind of coming across so far, and please do look at the kind of other lessons, you'll see it, is Pythagoras is coming into play an awful lot when we're looking at surface area of anything that has a slope or a slant. Okay, so let's look at cylinders. I said I was going to do this one as well, so obviously we are. Well, surface area of a cylinder, and if you've looked at the lesson on net, sort of I've mentioned it on there about how a cylinder is put together. Well, a cylinder is put together with two circles and a rectangle. It says at the top, and the width of the rectangle is the circumference, and the height of the rectangle is obviously the height of the cylinder. All right, so surface area of a cylinder is 2 lots of pi r squared, all right, because that's the two circles, plus 2 pi r, and then again that's the circumference times by its length, all right, because that's the rectangle around the outside. All right, so that distance there all the way around the outside, if you think about the rectangle, so that distance all the way around there is the height of the rectangle, and of course that's the width of the rectangle, which is L. All right, so hence this formula. So applying the formula, or applying our understanding of it, so the two circles, first of all, so pi r squared, which is going to give you that lot, so pi times 25, which give you that, but of course there are two of them. Oh, we're not doing that just yet, so we're doing the rectangle, so this is this bit, so 2 pi r, so 2 pi times 5 times 9, all right, so 2 pi r, so that's circumference times by 9, gives you this bit, and then the total surface area is going to be two of these, plus the obviously rectangle on the outside, and that's going to give me that. All right, don't be surprised in the exam if they actually leave things in terms of pi. Wouldn't surprise me with this one in the slightest. So maybe I'll leave this one as 25 pi, and then leave this one as 90 pi, and then leave it in terms of pi. So I can easily do some of these kind of without anything. So if I put 25 pi, another 25 pi, and then over here I've got 90 pi, but then I've got 140 pi, and I'm guessing 140 pi is that. All right, so don't be surprised if that kind of comes to play. All right, so please go to maths-school.co.uk. A bunch of questions on there for you to kind of practice at. But of course, if you want to kind of come back to the video and remind yourself what I've done, then obviously you're more than welcome to at any stage. Thanks for listening.